Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.
Good day, Matam.
Good day, sir.
How are you today, buddy?
I am outstanding. We will be in Canada in about 2 weeks.
I know, I'm so
Together.
pumped for that. Banff, y'all. Banff.
Bam. My boyfriend calls it Banaf, is what he says.
Is Trent coming?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's going to Banaf.
Are you? So I know that you're from Canada. Are you going to be spending any additional time there, or like are you going to?
Yes. Oh my goodness. We are me and the Kimbrells are going into Spokane, renting boats there, driving. We're stopping to do whitewater rafting and stopping at a hot spring, then driving to Banaf. And then after that, we're driving and they're gonna drop me at my mom's in Balfour. And we're stopping another hot spring. It's gonna be like a 2-week thing.
Well,
Yes.
I love it, and you deserve it. That's so cool. So cool. Well, good. And I was hoping that Travis was going to come down and say hi to us, but with his new
Oh yeah, my brother.
Yeah. But okay. Oops, go ahead.
It might be a tiny bit hard for him to get down there.
Yeah, especially at the new one. I like your watermelon glasses.
Thank you. I actually got them and was wearing them as a joke, and now they're my favorite. I can't get enough of them.
So are these another Snap-on thing, or
they are? I got probably another 30 of them the other day.
All right.
Yep.
Let's get
All
into
right.
Yeah, I'm excited about today's just because I think that a lot of people kind of stumble over it. And don't we, Mer, obviously with the team your size, a team my size, we kind of see all kinds of things all the time where people are kind of approaching us with different scenarios and different situations. And you brought this one up. I don't know if it's today or the other day, but I'm like, hell yeah, let's talk about that one on the podcast.
Yeah. I was working with a bunch of brand new agents, and this is something that happens occasionally to someone that's been doing this a while, but if you're brand new, this might come up a lot. Okay. And I was working with an agent, and all of a sudden they get right to the end of the life insurance application, and guess what? The client either hung up or they're like, I don't have a bank account, or I don't want to give you my bank information. So really it's that trust part when we're starting to ask them for their financial stuff. So I figured let's talk about it, because that I think it happens to everybody, but definitely happens to new people that aren't really as confident as they will be as they get further along. So I know you're the master of this. So let's rock this thing.
But I think you and I yin and yang in this, I think will be really good, because you definitely always have a really cool spin on stuff. But I think it's a confidence in the way that we approach it. I think what do we kind of get caught up on first is the social security number, right? From time to time. And I always like to justify what I'm doing before I do it, Miranda. Every single time. It's like that. It's like a way of asking for approval with confidence. A way of asking for approval with confidence. And here's kind of what I mean by that. So it was, as I come up to the social security number and I need it, I'd say, all right, Miranda, really quick, this next part, what they're going to do is they're going to do kind of a background check on you. They're going to run what is called your MIB report, which is your Medical Information Bureau report. They're also going to check APS, which is attending physician statement. They're also going to look at your driving record to make sure that you don't have a bunch of DUIs, make sure that you haven't been, arrested and all that good stuff. The only way that they're going to be able to kind of tie you to all of that stuff is with your social security number. So go ahead with that. It's that simple. That's the justification with I'm asking for approval with justification, right? So what I'm doing there is I'm telling them all the reasons that they need it. And then I'm saying, go ahead with that. I'm not asking them, so could you give me your social security number? Or so, Miranda, could I please have it? Or Miranda, they require it, so can you please give it to me? No, it's just go ahead with that. It's insane how you use that statement, go ahead with that, and then people will just kind of fall to you. Is there anything that you kind of do similar or any different with this social security number, or not necessarily?
So yeah, my ammunition is really handling things way before it comes up. So in the first, like, probably 30 seconds of the presentation, I talk about that. I'll say, listen, I need to know like everything, like about your health, your background, your prescriptions. They're even going to use your social security number to like see like the prescriptions you filled. They'll look at your criminal background. So I mention it there. And then so later on, when I'm asking for it later during the app, like they already have heard about that.
Yeah.
So
No, that's good, buddy. That's really good. It's just, again, as much as we can kind of prepare their mind, the better off we're going to be, right? That's the exact reason why we do a role on purpose, is we're going to kind of tell them what's going to take place before it takes place. So I really do like that. And then again, I'm doing the exact same thing as I dive into the Social Security. It's simple. I don't think I've ever got caught up on it. Again, maybe in the very beginning, right? As we're talking or alluding to those new agents, but as you just get comfortable and confident with what you're saying, and this is one of those areas, if you say it wrong, say it strong. Say it wrong, say it strong, right? And so, yeah, again, just super simple. Miranda, all right, they're gonna pull up what's called your MIB report, Medical Information Bureau report. They're gonna pull up your APS, your attending physician statement. They're gonna check your driving record. They're gonna do all that with your Social Security number. That's how they're gonna tie that to you. So go ahead with that. I'm ready when you are. Again, very simple, straight to the point, boom. So, and then the next thing I think where agents get caught up on is the bank account number and the routing number. And again, right, like we talk about, is some people, some of the newer agents will be like, well, no, they really didn't have a bank account number, or they really didn't have a routing number. I'm telling you, 95% of Americans do. You just can't get along in life without it, right? Again, I know we're talking, like, we could sit here and focus on the people that don't, but that's ridiculous, because if 95% of the people that do, it's just, let's focus on how to get really good with the 95% that do. So with the bank account and routing number, Miranda, I think you just treat it like it's a series of questions. So here's what I'll preface first. I always, buddy, I always waited until the very end to ask them for the bank account and routing number. What I mean is that, like, if I'm going through an application and that comes up in the beginning, I'm not grabbing that information. I'll, even on an electronic app, I'll fill out the rest of the application and then I'll come back to it. If that information is not at the very end, then I'm not, like, I'm going to do everything else and then come back. If it's at the very end, then that's perfect. I think the carriers that do it at the very end are the smart ones. But anyway, even if I have, like, whatever, like, do you get what I'm saying there? Is like, just wait until the very end before, all right, we do the bank info and then we immediately go to signatures. Yeah. Even when I was doing paper apps way back in the day, I would skip over that page and fill out everything else and then come back to that page and do it. So I think it's super important that we wait until the very end to do this one, because after they've given you all the other information, it's like, why wouldn't I just give them that? We're all the way done. All right. And so the last thing I need is this really quick. And so here's how I'll kind of dive into that, I'll be like, all right, so Miranda, really quick. Here's the last part here before I send this your way. Who do you bank with?
Wells Fargo.
Okay, very good. Wells Fargo. And do you know the address to the location in which you open that?
I don't. I just know that it's on, like, Daniels Parkway.
Daniels Parkway. Ooh, I bet we could look it up online really quick, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to do that, or do you want to do that?
Yeah, you can do it. Okay.
So, and that's Daniels Parkway. Is that right there in
Fort Myers?
Fort Myers. Okay, perfect. All right, so I got it at 1153 Daniels Parkway, right there in Fort Myers, whatever zip code. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. And then what's the routing number to that specific location?
I have no idea.
Ooh, normally it's either, if you have an app, it's right on there, or it's at the bottom left-hand side of a check.
Okay.
Do you want to pull it up on your app, or do you think it'd be easier to grab it from your checkbook?
Yeah, I can log into my online banking.
All right, let's do that. And let's grab that just so it ties it to it really quick too. So go ahead with that whenever you're ready.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Ooh, it's normally a series of 9 digits.
8, 9.
Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, and then same thing. Go ahead with the account that you want to use with the monthly withdrawal.
I don't really want to like give that out to you right now. Can't we just like see if I'm approved first and then do
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, no, it's just something that the carriers require when we submit the application. So go ahead with that whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be a tough one. Yeah, I don't really want to give that out right now. I can give you like a credit card or something, but I just like don't want to give you that.
No, that's okay. Let me ask you really quick. Is this something that you think you want, or is this something that you definitely know that you want?
Well, it'd be good to have for sure.
Okay, so again, like it'd be good to have for sure, or are we kind of 100% certain that, hey, you know, at the end of the day, I know that I want to have this coverage put in place so my family can be protected. We talked about Kaysen, we talked about you know, your 2 boys and making sure that they do want, right? You do want to make sure that the college is taken care of. You do want to make sure that they can kind of get set up off on the right foot. We got, you know, $420,000 left on your home. You got a couple $100,000 in, you know, between cars and loans and credit cards and all that good stuff. Want to make sure that kind of all that wiped out. And so there's absolutely no burden so we can set them up properly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to do that is by putting this in place. And here's the really cool thing about this is that with the carriers, what they do is by submitting all of the information, making sure that the application is 100% filled out, that they will actually backdate the coverage to this point right here, right now. So if you're approved, you'll be approved from this moment, that if God forbid anything were to happen even tonight, your family's taken care of. So go ahead with that number whenever you're ready.
I love it. I like it.
Okay, and then boom. Normally, yeah, so if I kind of get that objection twice, I'm just going to go back and kind of just check and make sure that it is something that they want. We'll go ahead and kind of recapture and dig into their why a little bit. I wasn't expecting you to do that to me, Miranda. But that's okay. I still think it's good to do a temperature check as to why they need it, you know? So yeah, that's exactly how I would do it. Just hands down, no questions asked. Just again, always kind of assume it. So go ahead with that. I'll go ahead with that when you're ready. Kind of idea.
Yeah, don't pause. And I was working with some police officers, and they were like, I was actually writing the app on him, but she wanted him to get it, and she was in the background. And she's like, they're like, we don't ever do direct withdrawal. My wife doesn't want to do it. And I was like, uh-oh. So I'm like, put her on the phone, you know. And so I was like, listen, I don't do, I'm not automatic withdrawal for anything either, ever. But this is the one thing that you do want to have on automatic withdrawal, because if you die and let's say the payment's due and they don't get the payment or whatever, you don't give the carrier any reason not to pay it out. So like, you know, just mark it down. Like it's this amount per month. It's always going to be on like the 8th of whatever. And they were cool with it. But I was like, you know, this is the one thing that you want to do this for. And they were like, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, that's so true too, right? Like how many horror stories have we heard where it was like, look, you know, they were in the hospital, you know, in a coma, in a hospital, you know, going through procedures, going through whatever. You know, people spend 6, 8 to 10 weeks in the hospital, and then is septic and all kinds of crap, and they miss that bill. And sometimes those carriers can be not as forgiving when they're paying out, you know, a few $100,000. So yeah, that's another really good point. But again, same thing. Don't you agree that it's just kind of all in the setup It's all in the confidence and the way that we ask it too. And
Yep.
so when you go to approach the bank account routing, are you kind of doing something very similar, or do you have a little
Definitely.
bit of a different approach?
Well, what you're talking about with the like progression, I think is so important. I might say something like, all right, John, so what day do you want your like life insurance payments to come out on?
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, they'll do the first one right away, but after that, like, is there a specific day that you want them to be like withdrawn on every month?
Yeah. Yeah. The 15th.
Okay, cool. And what bank do you use there?
Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo. Okay. And what is the routing number of that one?
08190.
Okay. Okay. And like I'll just but like launching into it ahead of time by saying what date do you want that payment to come out on? What bank do you use? What's the route? Like if I just went in and said, all right, I need your bank info and I don't like prepare the mind, like I'll get people telling me they want to give me a you know, it's like it's so important.
Yeah, I try to stay away from payment, right? The term payment, like the monthly, which date do you
Oh
want
yeah.
the monthly, right? That I think that's really important too. And then you can always kind of set it up a little bit differently too. You can say, all right, so they go about this two different ways. You can either handle it on an annual basis where you just cut a check for it, or you can do kind of a monthly withdrawal. There's no benefit either way. Would you prefer to kind of do a monthly withdrawal, or would you prefer to just go ahead and write an annual check for it? And I'm telling you, like, no, I don't want to write a check for it annually. I'd monthly. Okay, no big deal. Because we've presented it in months. We didn't present it annual. So they're already tied from an emotional EQ standpoint to the monthly aspect of it, right?
I like it.
Yeah. So there's another way that you could just kind of set it up. I always did that as well. All right, guys, really quick. So that gives us a couple of different options here. One that we can just kind of write a check every year for it annually, just be done with it. Not a lot of people do that. A lot of people go with the monthly withdrawal, but where do you guys kind of stand? You want to just write a check for it annually, or would you prefer to go ahead and do the monthly withdrawal? No, the monthly.
I like it.
Okay. So yeah, buddy. I think that's those are a couple of really good ways just to kind of tackle that and give people just kind of that confidence, right? Again, say it wrong, say it strong, make sure that your posture is really good, make sure that you're very confident when you walk into that one. And I promise you that's going to help you guys out so much.
There's one thing that comes up that happened to me when I started working leads where people were like going on Facebook or like TikTok or whatever. Like sometimes I'd call them up, right? And we get through the application and then we get to the bank info and then the like line would go dead. I was like, okay, I know what's going on here. You know,
I was hung up
and-
on.
I know. And I'm like, I get it. Like, you know, you found me on TikTok, you know, now we're on the phone and I would probably be like a little nervous too. So what I found worked like a lot of the time is as soon as they like hung up on me, I would immediately like send them a screenshot of that page I was filling out with their personal information so they could see like Mutual of Omaha or like Foresters on the top. I'd send them my digital business card that has like my picture, my license information. I'd also send them like my website and be like, hey, you know, we just got disconnected. We're almost done. Like there's just this one part and then we're completely finished. And I actually had people call back. I didn't say like, oh, wow, you hung up on me and sound all desperate. I was like, hey man, we got disconnected. It's all good. Here's my stuff just so you have it. And then, you know, that has worked.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think again, right? Like even doing that up front, you know, just sending out that digital, like, because it's all you're doing there is you're just saying, look, I'm real, I'm legit, right? I have a website, I have business cards, I have, I'm okay to do business with. I think like even sending that right out of the gate,
yep.
You know, and making sure that like they do have, you know, a digital business card, they do have, you know, whatever to ensure that like, look, here you go. I'm legit. So anything that you have, like I would even put my driver's license inside of my business license and be sending that to people too. Like I'm okay to do business in the state. And then here's who I am. You know, with everything, just be as vulnerable as you can with that information. And I think that that'll really help you out too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's again, like, don't take offense to it. Like, people, they're going to be nervous sometimes, but the better you get at this and the longer you do it, like, it's not going to come up like barely ever. But if you're new, go through the steps that John was talking about, right? Make sure that you're sounding confident, and, rock and roll, and it'll work almost all the time. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Outside of that, here's another episode for y'all. Click the like, click the share, make a comment, all that good stuff. Subscribe. We appreciate you guys so much for all the love that you guys have been pouring out. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.